Kon Gambia parlen.
At 8:30, and these are the panelists. I always put it.
Good evening and welcome once again, viewers. This is the Pura Hour, and the sensitization, as you know, continues on the SIM card registration. Last week we were here and we delved a lot into SIM card registration. Tonight we're also here again, and the same panel, no changes at all. ML Samposise, Mulamin Samposise is Deputy Director, Technical Regulation on the Electricity. Welcome.
Thank you.
And of course, Aidan Boob rather, Deputy Director, Legal Licensing and Enforcement. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
And lastly but not the least is our friend Mr. Sima. Of course, he's the Director of Consumer Affairs. Mr. Sima, pleasure.
Thank you, Malik.
Good. What's been going on? Sensitization all along. People are wondering what you're doing on television. People hear your jingles on the radio. They hear you also on the radio. What is going on? We're talking about SIM card registration. It kicks off when? This Saturday or Sunday?
Last week Sunday.
It kicked off last
On
week
the
Sunday.
15th.
Did I take a holiday? I didn't take a holiday. I was around anyway. Did I register my SIM card? Not yet. But Lamin, tell me. Lamin Sampo.
Yes.
Should I tomorrow? It's tight though.
Yeah, I think as soon as possible.
I got 6 months, by the way.
Well, 5 months and counting down. So it's
Counting down.
yes. So time is not on our side. I think we should not wait till the last minute and we start rushing. One of the reasons why we were here last week and we're here this week and will continue to come is just to reiterate the same point, and that people should take SIM card registration seriously. And Pura is here to answer any questions they have along the process. It's an evolving thing. Our mandate is to make sure that the whole process is completed successfully. And so if they have suggestions or anything, we're welcome to hear anything they have to say.
He mentioned PURA, that's the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority. Public utilities meaning your electricity, your water, your telephone. Is there anything else?
Yeah, telephone, both fixed and wireless.
And
yeah,
wireless,
yes.
mobile and fixed line.
Yes, and
The water
electricity.
and the electricity.
Yeah.
So if NAWEC is misbehaving, you will regulate them.
Yes, that's what
Of
we're
course, yes, you
doing.
will
Yes.
regulate them. Well, they are here. They want to make sure that everybody using a mobile phone gets registered. We've talked about the safety last time. Why do people need to? It is, of course, important that you have your mobile phone and you register it, and whatever happens, I think you're more secured. Security being one of the main things about registration. You're in licensing and enforcement. Very big name, legal licensing and enforcement. What are you legally licensing here?
At Pura, specifically, what we license are any providers of any of the services that we regulate. So, as you
Water,
mentioned,
electricity, the phones.
electricity, telephones, also broadcasting. So radio stations.
You-
We
You
license.
regulate me?
We are going to start regulating you very
Oh
soon.
my God, really?
We're also by law supposed to regulate transport, which we haven't moved into yet. It's part of our strategic plan to expand over a period of time. So at the moment, it's just the electricity, the telecoms, and the broadcasting sector.
Meaning if the drivers increase the fares, you'll be there for us. Yes,
When we
yes.
start regulating the sector, yes.
When you start to regulate
The sector.
the transport sector, if the drivers go sky high, you say, hey, come down.
Well, as you know, at Pura, we balance the interests of the consumer and also of the service provider. So considering the increase would be based on certain economic factors which we'd have to consider, it wouldn't be just automatically to say reduce it just because the consumers are complaining. We need to make sure that the businesses are able to thrive and continue to grow as well.
I am a consumer, and this is the Director of Consumer Affairs. You've asked me and all the Gambians and all those residing in the Gambia and would-be residents of the Gambia to register their SIM cards, and the process started last week.
It did.
Now, what is going on? Are you monitoring what's going on? Have you been to the service providers to find out what is going on?
Absolutely, Mike. Mr. Jones, thank you very much for that question. Yes, we have started this past Sunday. That's the 15th of January. And the monitoring process, as we've said before, is an ongoing process. It's not something that we are going to relent on. We are going to continue on going and finding out what is happening, because the feedback really is very important in the whole process, in that we're not just asking them to register and just sit back and let that happen. So we go back and then find out where the difficulties are and try and ameliorate them, and where there are successes we try and build upon them. So it's a continuous process of consumers taking responsibility for their SIM cards, Malik.
So you've been going around, that's what you're telling me now. What have you been seeing?
We've been seeing lots of people, hundreds and hundreds of people who have had the advertisements, who have seen the TV programs. Thank you to GRTS once again. But then again, you know, they are going out there and they are saying, I want to take responsibility for my card, and I believe in what you're saying. What you're saying makes sense, that we all take responsibility for our SIM cards. And they're going out there, they actually, in some cases, they will actually go to the service providers, and if they are finding difficulties even at that point, they call us to intervene to say, I'm trying to register my card. How do you think I can best do it? And, you know, how would this be done? And, you know, all these types of questions they're asking, it means it shows their level of interest in terms of the registration itself. So the process, as far as we're concerned, is going very smoothly. And then, of course, we have about 6 months. We don't want people fighting over each other and then pushing in queues, because obviously you have 6 months. But the fact that people are doing that is very encouraging to us, based on all the sensitizations that we are doing and the encouragement.
Has there been an instance where people have been mal-registering, either the service provider not taking into account certain ingredients of the registration process, like name, date of birth, sex, stuff like that, where did you realize anything omitted?
Yes, in some instances, with any process and with any new process, of course, there's going to be shortcomings. And there are shortcomings that we are finding out, and we are trying to correct them as we go. And in some instances, the service providers, the people at the point of registering, they are registering people, in their enthusiasm sometimes might omit to take certain details which are fundamental to the whole process. But of course, like we said, you know, it's an ongoing process, and we are all learning and we are moving. The most important thing is that these data are recorded and people are taking responsibility, and that they buy into the idea that nobody is forcing anyone, but rather for people to actually believe that this is something that's good for me.
Modlamin, what should people expect to provide? What kind of information should they provide to the service provider from their date of, from the birth certificate or from their voter's card, their driver's license? What exactly should be documented?
Yeah, Pura has set up like a template and key questions that need to be asked. The birth certificate is not a document that's applicable for SIM card registration, so you cannot register with a SIM card. Your photo ID must bear, your ID card must bear a photograph. So here we're talking about your biometric ID card, your driver's license, the biometric one, your passport, or if you're a foreign national, your alien's card or your residence permit, as well as your foreign passport or foreign ID for the ECWA citizen. So these are the documents. It must bear a photograph. So the birth certificate is not part of it. The information that will be retrieved by the operators is not anything new. Everything they're going to ask you is already on your card. What is your name? Malik Jones. Date of birth is on your ID. Your address is on your ID. So basically, it's just to confirm it so that we can actually query it on the database and then make sure that it's your identity, that's your number. That's the whole exercise. So they're not going to ask you what is your mother's maiden name or anything new. All the information that you're going to present is already something that you have given to acquire an ID card or a passport. So there's nothing really too fair about SIM card registration. It's just a routine thing that we are doing. All the information is already available, and the public should embrace it as they're already doing, as Solo said.